All right, guys, it's April 28th again. Ashton just switched me. And we're going Fendting. We should probably do a little walk around here first. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So this is a 1050. It is a 2020 model. That 3,300 kg weight on the front. Apparently that's not an option anymore. At least that's what I was told. It's a 2,300 kg weight that's an option now. And that's the reason why it's tough to steer sometimes. If you let too much air out of these tires, pick up that weight, it's really hard to steer at slow speeds. We do have the triples on this one. There, I come from this angle here. We did put the triples on this one. So this is not the first time I put the triples on you guys. Okay, I know some of you guys think that it is, but it's not. I've had this 10 series tractor, not this one, but this is my third one. The first one was a 2017, the second one was a 2018, and this one is a 2020, okay? I did put the triples on the 2018, which was actually a black model. This is the second season with this one. We did not run the triples last year. We only ran the duals, and that was a mistake. It was really muddy last year. It was quite wet last year. It was hard pulling last year. I should have put the triples on last year. So this year, I'm thinking I'm gonna be proactive. I ain't gonna do that crap again. I'm gonna put the triples on first, which is what I did. And now it's super dry, and I really don't need them. But anyway, we got them anyway. This is not the Gen 2. It does not have the reversible fan. What else? So for weights, we have one wheel weight in there, and we have a second weight. This weight had to be specially bored out to put that spacer in there to put our triple on. Okay? So we're weighted up somewhere in the along the lines of, like, I don't know, 20, I don't know where I'm going with 20. 57.5 or so thousand pounds. Take a look around the back here. It does have the 3-point hitch. The hydraulics on the Fendt are actually quite high. So when we use the Fendt, we actually had to pull a lot of the hydraulics up, the best of our abilities, to get them in up there. Okay. This is a 68-foot Borgo. You guys know that. 12-inch spacing, 950 cart with mid-row banders. Well, I think that's enough talking. I think we should probably go Fendting. Before we do, we just want to look at the ground. Yep, it's dry. So this is supper. I think she threw on some supper for me here. I do believe I have pierogies and sausage cooking. And I just had my homemade soup here already. I was like, holy crap. I gotta stop eating so much. Yep, the window's quite dirty here. Ashton is not a carpet person. She likes to take her broom here and sweep her floor all the time, but she is not a carpet person. I am actually the only carpet person on our farm. No one else takes their shoes off when they get in, only myself. Heart to you. I love my wife. She's awesome. All right, so Ashton just loaded. Yeah. Ashton likes the Sharpie markers, the erasable ones there. She actually has played X's and O's with herself. I think she's won. Okay, we just got to get lined up on our pass here first. This is the first year that I have actually seated with the first time I've seated with the 1050 this year. See if I can still remember what the crap I'm doing here. All right, so we hit our go button. It's actually programmed to lock in our auto steer here. So right now we are running at about 4.8 miles an hour. Oops. It's pulling pretty easy. As you can see, we don't really have any slippage of any kind back there. A lot of tires out there. So right now I'm running on the min-max RPMs. So I'm actually currently running on 1550 RPMs. We can play around with that a little bit. I've played around with this for like since 2017, you guys, just so you know. I like to run it at about 1500 RPM. Mike, its most torque is like 1150 or 1200. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But one thing I hate, you guys, is an engine that is always fluctuating. And all of a sudden you're ramming speed, climbing a hill, and all of a sudden, ooh, you're down to about 1000 RPM going down the hill. I hate that. All right, like I am way too OCD for that crap. Give me a consistent RPM. If we don't have to be running ramming speed, then awesome, we won't. But just give me a consistent RPM. I'm a white noise kind of guy. I have to have white noise when I sleep. It needs to be consistent. It's a big pet peeve when engines are always doing this all day long. All right, let's play around a little bit more. Let's go down to, wow, sorry about that. I hit the wrong button. Let's go down to about 1400 RPM. Now it just sounds like it's laboring. Granted, we are going downhill. This whole field is downhill. Going this direction. Interesting. Okay, we're gonna slow down a little bit for this. This looks a little bouncy. Oops. Okay, we're gonna go back into our cruise control. We have our cruise set at 4.8 miles an hour. If it ever gets there. Come on. This is a very flat field, as you guys can see. Mike, you're supposed to be an auto, not manual. Nope. Believe me, I know what I'm doing. 1,500 hours or something, or 2,000 hours or something like that on these tractors. Pulling this drill. 4% gives you the most speed. Mike, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's not programmed like that. You obviously do not know what you're talking about. Well, when we were actually pulling hard, not like this year, but especially last year, when you're pulling hard, balls to the walls, all this tractor can do, you have to rev her to full RPM, which is all of like 1,600. And then you program your transmission to 4% on manual, and you will gain an extra 0.5 of a miles per hour. Now, 0.5 miles an hour isn't very much, but it sure does seem like a lot. And since your target speed is typically 4.8 miles an hour, you can almost get to 4.5 miles an hour. Otherwise, you're around that 4, and you fluctuate between 4 and 4.5, and then once you start climbing the hills, I'm talking hard pulls here. This year, yeah, everything's, I can pull a 100-foot drill with old Johnny Popper over there this year. Normally, your 4 miles an hour, 3 miles an hour, 2 miles an hour, and down to 1.7 climbing the hills. Well, Mike, obviously it comes down to the traction. Your rubber, no? It does when you're at 1.7, 1.5, and 2 miles an hour. Yeah, then it comes down to traction, because when you're going so slow, you can literally spin yourself into a hole. But when you're up into this 4 miles an hour, it's coming down to power. Well, Mike, you obviously, you don't know what you're talking about, buddy. Okay, my bad. All right, my bad. I obviously don't. One thing about this tractor, though, you guys, is it's quite a bit quieter. And Johnny over there is, you know, I have it tapped out at around 1800 RPM. And it's a whole heck of a lot quieter than Old Red. Old Red being like a case quad track. Those things are loud. And well, they have to be loud, because that's the only way you get your power, is they gotta be screaming at about 2200 RPM. And I'm not picking on it, honest. I don't bash. That's one thing you guys gotta know about me. I do not equipment bash. I do not actually tolerate equipment bashing on my channel. So if that's all you wanna do, just please unsubscribe and just go away. I am not interested in that whatsoever. I like all the colors. They all have pros and cons, and what might work for me, and what might work for you, might not work for me, and vice versa. And you know what? That's okay. That's actually okay. It's our salad. I think my pierogies are done, you guys. Grunting more now. Remember, our target speed is 4.8, so obviously we're not holding target, are we? Our actual speed is up here. Now that was barely even a hill. That is going to be a little bit more of a hill. I look forward to that. But before we get there, I'm going to switch it into auto for you guys. Okay. Around this bit of a rocky ravine here. By the way, guys, this thing turns on a dime and will leave you 7 cents change. Well, Mike, how's that possible with those triples on there? Because they actually sped the front end up, and it's completely independent. So you can be laboring this tractor down to the point you're spinning holes back here. Crank this thing around with your finger. That's all the power it takes, and you'll literally feel that front end just carve you right over. Turns awesome. Switch hands here. Drill through there. Come on. There it is. There we go. Lift up here. Alright, we're just trying to get set up here. I turned my cruise control on. We're in the ground. I want to get up to 4.8 miles an hour, you guys. That's what I want to get up to. Hold 4.8. Okay, I'd like to hold 3.8 then. Okay, I'd like to at least hold 3. Give me 3. Did we got 3? How about 3? Did we got 3? All right, 2.8. Did we got 2.8? Can we hold 2.8? Can we hold 2.8? Okay, we can hold 3. We can hold 3. It's not a very big hill, you guys. Not a very big hill. There we right, we have successfully gone 1 mile. Let's turn this rig around. Mike, are you saying that you can go 1 mile without turns? Yeah, sometimes we can go 2, sometimes we can go 3. Whoa, we're not picking up that line. There we go. There we go. Things are happening fast here. Whoa, a little aggressive. Oh, we better slow down for that. That looks rough. Go to cruise. Would like to get the 4.8. Okay, I'd like to just hold 3.5. Come on, come on. And as you can see, we're pretty flat and it's dry. So you can just imagine what this would be like in wet conditions. Sorry, you guys probably can't see me. In wet conditions, you can imagine what this would look like. What's beeping at me here? Okay, yeah. We're actually been having some GPS issues, and apparently we're not even on GPS here anymore. Okay, I got it. All right. We just upgraded to the RTK, or is it RTX? I don't know. It's the one just above was. And so you pay that subscription, but for some reason it's not been taken very good, and it's been causing us lots of troubles. So we've been trying to get that resolved. Full Line Ag, our dealer, they were down today trying to figure that out. We actually put a different bubble in. Put the one in off a combine. Still no difference. Okay, let's try go ramming speed. Speed is we're going back to 4 mile an hour. And let's up our RPMs here. Let's get up to say 1550. Oh, would you look at that? 4.9. See if we can hold this. We're not laboring so much anymore. And yes, it's flat, but we're actually climbing. Yeah, you can't see it, but we were coming down going this way, but we're climbing going this way, and we have a full cart on. So this is how we've done it. We go 4% on manual. We go about 1500 or 1550, 1500 typically, but it is 1550 right now. Let's go to our fuel burn. It says we're burning around 18.4. Yeah, okay. I wonder if that's going off all the time on Asha. Now we get annoyed. Let's check our air filter. I bet you it's getting plugged. Oh yeah, our air filter is 99% plugged. It's not surprising. Why isn't it surprising? Because they stick it right down there and it sucks all the dust. It needs to be above the cab. So it's actually quite annoying. We have to change quite a few air filters, especially when it's dry like this. It's definitely a lot quieter in here than it is Johnny. That's for sure. That's one thing I definitely notice. It's also a heck of a lot smoother. I feel like I'm riding on glass with all these tires. Tracks are rough, you guys. At least in my experience on our ground they are. Okay. That's annoying. We are going to just have to slow down a little bit for this. So these are water runs. We actually blade these water runs because they're like very, like they're trenches, right? Like maybe only a foot deep by a foot wide. Well, you guys can't see anything that way. How about this way? Not even. The sun isn't really working too good with you guys. Apologize. It's late in the day. Basically, when the water runs, typically in the spring, or if you have a torrential downpour, it can actually cut washes through your field. And they always seem to get a little bit worse every year, but not if you blade them. At least that's in our experience. So we're doing way better, guys. We can actually pretty much hold our speed. Running the manual 4% at 1500 RPM. Actually 1550, no, 1500. 1490 to be exact. So, I know you guys got some questions. I'm going to quickly try and answer some right away before we end this video. Mike, are the triples helping this year or not? Well, not really. The only place those triples are going to help this year is when we get into some big hills, and like big hills, and start climbing, get down to that 1 mile an hour, 1.5 mile an hour, and you're just chewing and chewing and chewing, because eventually you could spin out. And that's where it will help drag you over the top, maybe, versus you having to back down. But for the rest of the 90% of seating this year, nah. But that's just how it goes. It's kind of like putting a rain gauge out. If you stick a rain gauge out, you probably won't get rain. That's the reason why we haven't put our rain gauges out yet. Mike, why? I don't get it. Why do you have the 1050? Obviously it doesn't pull. Why don't you just trade it off and get another Johnny Popper, or heck, better yet, get a Case Quad Track, or why don't you do the cut? Why? Because this thing is too new. It only has 385 hours on it. You know what kind of butt kicking you're gonna take on a trade like that? You don't just trade like that. I'm not farming to lose money, okay? I'm not farming to lose money. So the depreciation hit that you would take on a fresh trade like that, I have no interest in it whatsoever. Well, then why did you just buy it in the first place? Because I was told that these new 1050s were supposed to be different. They're not. They're all the same. Okay? Well then, okay, well why did you buy a 1050 anyway? Why did you still get the second one? And why did you get the third one? Those are actually really good questions. Because they're weak in situations when it comes to putting power to the ground. Like pulling something big like this air drill. But they're quite strong when it comes to, like, say, pulling a Degelman Pro Till around at high speeds, getting from point A to point B. You guys know that we're quite spread out. We're spread all over the country, 40 miles here and 70 miles there. And so it's really nice that way that you can get from point A to point B. Also on a harrow, or like there's a grain cart. It's probably the best tractor you could ever put on a grain cart. I really like the Fendt transmission. I like to be able to go from joystick to pedal mode by a push of a button. I really like that it never rolls. It will never roll. I can just keep going ahead, let off the pedal. It just holds it there, and you can be wide open, dumping that PTO, dumping that grain cart. You can just inch it ahead, and then you have a whole pile of different sensitivities. You can go joystick or foot pedal, and this thing rides like a freaking Cadillac across the field. Okay, grain carting, it's super strong. So every piece of equipment, you guys, has a strong point and a weak point. The Johnny Poppers, they're strong at pulling. They do pretty dang good at pulling. Okay, hold on, there we go. Johnny's good at pulling, but you know what, guys? Johnny sucks at shifting. I'm sorry. yeah, you can play around with them all you want. It's not a very good shifting transmission. The Case Quad Track's way better for shifting. Like I've had to cross the Trans-Canada Highway. Trans-Canada Highway is our busiest highway here in Canada. It literally connects the East Coast with the West Coast. So they barely have enough space. We're not like the US where we have overpasses all over. No, we're too poor for that up here in Canada. We literally just have to like look both ways and be like, okay, I think I can make it. But you know what? They don't even put enough room in between the first highway and the second highway for you to fit in because you're too long with an air drill. So you're like, oh shoot, well, it looks half clear over here and I see some vehicles coming over there, but I think I can make it. You got to go across all 4 lanes, 2 highways to get across to be safe. So you're like, time to go, and you go revving up and you go shift. You're like, you got to go because that traffic is doing 110 minimum speed and it's most likely doing 130 kilometers. And yes, they can see you, but they're like, what is that big thing up there? What is that? I don't understand. What? You know? And all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, I'm not going to make it because you just shifted up about 8 gears. And old Johnny's like, yeah, that's 1. That's 2. That's 3. Oh, I forgot 4. That's 5. Meanwhile, you're still trying to cross the first highway, and it's like, that's dangerous. Someone's going to die. And we do not use them when we have to shift. They're terrible, and they're rough. I'm not bashing them. I own it. I will still own it. I'm not going to trade it. I like it when it comes to pulling, but I do not like it when it comes to high speeds. I do not like the sensor going off at me. And I do not like it on grain carts. Alright, so that's going to conclude today's video. Now that all the John Deere guys are like, well, I'm unsubscribing. Oh man, I enjoy. You know what, guys? I own a lot of different colors and I just like picking on them both because they both have their pros and cons. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's like having a wrench, it's like having a hammer, and it's like having a screwdriver. We can't farm without any of those. And a hammer, and believe me, a screwdriver is not a very good hammer, and a hammer is not a very good screwdriver. It's all the same thing. And now I'm going to switch off Ashton. I've left her a little note, and she wants her tractor back. She prefers the Fendt over the Deere. Can't see out my window. Gonna have to tell her to clean the window. And I'm gonna let you guys go. I can't see anything. You guys have yourself an awesome one. You guys are freaking awesome. I've got the best subscribers on all YouTube. I know I keep saying that. I probably sound like a broken record, but it's so true. You guys are freaking awesome. Adios, guys.